Alright, so I'm going to be doing a quick review on this Anova precision cooker. It's a 1000 watt version, Wi-Fi connected, and temperature accuracy by 0.1 degrees Celsius. So it comes with a removable clamp and a metal skirt, and here you go, you can see the size and the weight. And then this is from Costco. It's about $200 before tax, so close to $220 after tax. It comes with this container as well, 16.9 quart, 16 liter, and yeah, so here you go, dishwasher safe, though I don't know who would throw this in the dishwasher. All you do is put water in there, so basically just dump the water out. You can use the water to water your plants or something, but I don't see why you would need to dump the water out. Just leave it in there. If you want, you can run the temperature higher to kill any bacteria that's in there, and then you can just keep reusing the water. The only time you would maybe need to dump the water is if it's, I don't know, you let it get moldy or something, or maybe your bags leaked and then food got in there. I'm not sure how you would clean the inside of this cooker thing though. But anyways, so yeah, it's Wi-Fi connected. There's no Bluetooth connectivity, so that's one thing with this. You do have to have the Wi-Fi on your phone to initially set it up, but once you connect the device to Wi-Fi, then you don't have to worry about that, because you can actually use it'll connect over the internet at that point. Okay, so here's what you do. So you got this bucket. Let me show you real quick. I like to make the rubber flaps go downwards like this, so that way when it gets the steam will kind of hit that and then go back down. It is a little bit trickier to put the lid on that way, because normally what you do, you like put the lid down from the top like this and then drop it on. But I feel like that makes it easier for the steam to kind of go out as a chimney. So what I do to make this work better is I tilt it like this, put the thing slightly going into the bucket, all right, and then I push it on so that all the fins go downwards. All right, it's hard to do this while trying to record this, all right, but anyways, you do it like that, and then you slide the lid over. If it's going up, you can kind of push them in. So that's how I do it. That's what I found I feel works best. I mean, it's an extra step, so you don't have to do that, but I mean, I'm just kind of trying to do what I can to make it better. All right, so right now, this is the second time I've used this. The first time I boiled some eggs, but the eggs were too fresh, so after when I tried to peel them, they were really hard to peel. So I'm gonna try some eggs again later that I'm leaving out for about 2-3 days. Okay, so right now I'm doing some ribs in here. So excuse me. So I got these ribs from Costco, and basically what I did was the pack comes with 2 racks of ribs. I cut the rack of rib in half, and then I stacked the 2 ribs together so that the meat part is facing out, and then I put them in these freezer gallon Ziploc bags. Then I took a straw and then I suctioned the air out. I had to put the straw close to the meat and just suction the air out. Since these don't have much water coming out, it's good. If there's a lot of water coming out of this and you try and vacuum suction it with a straw, you're gonna end up sucking in all that meat, raw meat juice. So you probably don't want to do that. If you can, get a vacuum bag machine or something, but I have one, but I don't have the bags right now, so I was just being lazy and did it that way. Alright, so the water bath, let me talk about this. So this tray you use it to keep the stuff separate, and then since I have this extra slack, I put it on top and I just put a plate on it so that way it keeps the bags from falling into the water. Alright. So this metal thing has these rubber feet here to tell you where it goes in place, but you can see it just connects to these 4 spots. This bucket actually has a groove here for where this goes, though I don't know. I mean, you can stick it here too. I don't think it really matters that much. You just turn everything in reverse and it seems to fit okay. So yeah. All right, so this bucket, one thing I learned: if you're cooking something small, don't use this bucket because it takes a long time to heat up all this water. This thing's been heating for a while. I'm actually heating it. Normally you'd want to preheat the water, but I'm lazy, so I just threw the stuff in there, and I figure it's gonna cook for 24 hours, so might as well. I'll let it gradually heat up. I don't care. But it's heating up to 141.8 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what I found on a recipe on the app. So that's what I'm heating it to. And then once it reaches that temperature, I'm going to leave these in there for 24 hours. So I haven't tried this yet, but we'll see how it goes. After it finishes cooking for 24 hours, I'll basically cut the ribs to whatever size I want to eat and then throw them in an air fryer. And hopefully that will give it that crispy outer layer as if you were barbecuing or baking it or something. Alright, so that's that. I don't know if I think I mentioned the eggs already, so that was the first thing I tried. I forgot what temperature I tried, but I was messing around with it, so they didn't turn out right. I was originally going for soft-boiled, which if you want soft-boiled, the whites outside hard and the inside like yolky, you have to actually have the temperature pretty high and then do it for a shorter cook. Basically like you're cooking it in a pot, except the water won't boil, it'll just be very hot. Okay, so now we're gonna go and talk about this device. I'm probably just gonna show you it and stop what it's doing right now. But anyways, there's this little knob back here, if I can show you. So if you undo this knob, which is very difficult to twist, I feel they should have put like a wing instead of this round knob, especially if your hands or your fingers get slippery. It's really hard to twist this, but basically you undo this knob and then, let me turn this off. So when you undo that knob, it releases the sous vide cooker thing from this, and that's so you can kind of adjust the height of it. So again, like I was saying, you don't want to use all this water if you're cooking something small. So when I went to cook the eggs, I basically just put the sous vide thing on the pot here. And you don't really need to worry about that much water loss. When you boil eggs, it wastes, more water will evaporate than when you use the sous vide thing, because you're not heating it to that rapid boiling temperature. But yeah, so I put the sous vide in the pot and clamped it there, and it worked perfectly fine. So yeah, so that's one thing I learned. Don't always try and cook everything in this giant thing. You're just gonna be trying to heat up a whole bunch of water that you don't need to heat up. Though if you do want to do a, what do you call? Oops. Okay, let me decline that. Someone's trying to call. Hopefully it didn't keep the call. Well, anyways, so what you want to do is usually you'd want to heat the water, and the nice thing with this, I guess, if it has a lot of water, so when you drop the stuff in, the temperature won't fluctuate much. So that is one benefit to using the big bath versus this. But yeah, you do have to heat up a lot more water, so it will take a lot longer to reach the temperatures. Alright, so the way you use this, to first connect it to your Wi-Fi, there's actually a button up here. So this has to be on, but not not actually heating anything. So once you have it on, you basically press and hold this middle thing. It's hard to see, but there's a target icon there. So that's where you set the target temperature. Just press and hold that. Oops. Press and hold this one. Okay. And then these numbers should change to 4 other digits. So this is the Wi-Fi code. It changes every time you do this. But when you open the app, the Anova app, you need to enter these 4 digits, and your phone's Wi-Fi needs to be on. If your Wi-Fi is not on, it won't find it. I was trying to set it up and wondering why it wasn't working because I turned my Wi-Fi off and I just used the Bluetooth. But yeah, since this is Wi-Fi only, you have to have the Wi-Fi on to set it up. Once you set it up, you don't need to be connected to Wi-Fi on your phone anymore, because this will be connected to your home network and it will use the internet to talk to your phone. Okay? So we're done with that. Alright. If you like the temperature in Celsius, you can press and hold this one, which is the thermometer. I don't know. Okay, so you can leave it running when you do that, and there you go. It shows the temperature. Actually, I kind of wonder if you can do the Wi-Fi thing while it's running. Let's see. I don't think you can, but yeah, see. Oh, yeah, see, nothing happens. So you do have to make sure this is off when you connect it to Wi-Fi, and then you just press and hold that target button. So there's this pause and play button, and then to turn it off, you can press and hold this button, which just turns off the display and everything. But this still remains connected to Wi-Fi, so you can actually start this up from your phone using the app. You don't, even while it's off like this, because it's still connected to the Wi-Fi. So, and then these buttons won't do anything. You have to press and hold this to turn it back on. Okay, then you got the timer here. You can set the timer. All of this stuff you can do from the app. The temperature is a lot better from the app because you can do like as you can see, 141.8. If you do it from your phone, or not from your phone, from this, you can only do 0.5 degrees Fahrenheit increments, which I don't know how big of a difference those point whatever degrees makes, but yeah. Okay, so there's that. You can see the current temperature of the water, and then what temperature you're trying to go to, which is the target temperature, and then again the timer. Then you can use these plus and minus buttons to adjust it, and yeah, play and pause. All right. So again, I just put the meat in there. I cut them in half, faced them back to back, so the meat is facing out, so at least the part that needs to be cooked gets cooked better. But it's gonna sit in there for 24 hours, so I'm sure it doesn't matter. It's gonna heat up all the air around the bag and the bones as well, so it should get everything to the same temperature since it's sitting in there 24 hours. So again, the lid. Oh, I forgot to mention the other part. So this skirt thing that holds this, there's actually a notch in the back, so it prevents you from putting it in backwards when you have it seated all the way down. But if you lift it up, you can actually twist it around. So this is how you kind of line it up properly. All right. So I'm going to tighten this back up. Not that I need to, because it's all the way down in that notch. And then this one just allows you to grip it onto multiple different pots or containers, and you just twist this to get it off. I'll leave it on there because I don't want to take it out and put it back, but basically you just twist it this way to loosen it and take it out. Yep, see, but I'm going to tighten it all the way. So yeah, a very simple device. Just this basically just clamps it onto whatever pot, bucket, whatever thing you want to use. So you can probably even throw a whole turkey in like a 5-gallon bucket. I don't know if the turkey would fit in this, probably not, but yeah, if you get a 5-gallon bucket, you can probably use this and then circulate the water around the turkey, though I don't know how you'll vacuum bag a giant turkey. What you can do instead of a vacuum bag, you can probably, well, I don't think it's a good idea, because garbage bags aren't designed for food to be eaten afterwards. So usually these bags will be like BPA free and all this stuff. So I guess you're kind of limited to the size of the bag you can get. I don't know if they have giant turkey sized bags since Thanksgiving is coming up. But if you were to do a turkey, I have a feeling you'd probably have to leave it cooking in the water for like 2, 3, 4 days or something to get it all even temperatured. But yeah, so that's pretty much all there is. I don't remember if I showed how to do the lid. So again, like if you're just doing the lid quickly, you can just drop it on like that. But then I feel like this shape, it's basically like a chimney that lets all the steam out a lot easier. So what I do is I tilt it forward. If I already said this, then this is pretty much the end of the video. But I like to tilt it forward like this so that the fins go downwards. All right, and then rotate it like this. See, so now the fins are all pointing inwards, so when the water actually tries to go out, it hits the curve and then it goes back in, and then only these very slight holes will let the steam go out. Okay, so that's how you do that, and that's how I like to use it, though I don't know if there's a way that people would say is better. But yeah, basically submerge it completely. Make sure you have enough water to completely submerge. If you're cooking something shorter, then you can actually put the thing less water. You don't need to completely like fill the bucket all the time. And so if I have extra water, I just pour it into these pots and then leave it in there. There is a max and min fill here. I don't know if you can see that line right there because of the flash, but there's a minimum line there. That minimum line is actually a lie. It might be okay if you fill it to that minimum line and then put food inside, because the food will raise the water level. But if you see these slits in there, the thing is, when you turn that on, if the water moves around and it goes below these metal slits, it will actually tell you that the water is too low. But as you can see, the min line is actually lower than the slit. So if you fill it to the min line with the food in there, it's not, I mean, if you fill it to the min line and then you try and turn it on to warm up the water, it won't even let you do that because it's going to complain that the water level is too low. So you actually have to put it slightly above the very top of the first slit. So it would have to be like up here somewhere. Okay, so I found that out. I was trying to use the minimum water level. It kept like turning itself off and I was confused. So yeah, just know that the minimum line is actually like a centimeter above the minimum line, not actually at that line. Alright, and then the max line, I guess you can just fill it all the way. I don't know if this thing is okay with being submerged in water or anything. They didn't say do not submerge or anything, but I would assume that you shouldn't submerge the top electronics part in water. I think only the silver or chrome plated part should be in the water. Alright, so that review went a little longer than I was expecting, but hopefully this video was helpful to some people. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!